Yeah, I'm a legitimate world champion, and put some respect on my name. Put some respect on my name, bro.
I'm putting the respect.
Put some respect on my name.
I'll put that.
Put some respect on my name, bitch.
Anthony Joshua will not be facing Daniel Dubois next, according to Frank Warren's comments this past weekend. What can you tell me about his injury?
I mean, Anthony might be facing Daniel Dubois next.
Oh, so do you disagree? Or not?
No, I mean, not in February 22nd, okay. But AJ's next fight may well be against Daniel Dubois, but it won't be on February 22nd. We had a very awkward call with AJ's medical team and 258 and Freddie and Hearn and everybody, Ben, and he wanted to fight on February 22nd and basically was told that there is no way you can start camp and be 100% for February 22nd. Physically. And, there's nothing major. There's 2 or 3 issues that he had, a little bit in camp, but also after the fight as well. And they said, you need to come back in May, June. And he didn't want to do it. He wanted to fight on February 22nd. But unfortunately, we kind of had to overrule him on this and say no, because we can't afford not to get this right. If you get beaten again by Daniel Dubois, you have to seriously consider your future. We got one last chapter in this career that we need to make sure we get 100% spot on. So when he comes back in May or June or whenever that's going to be, you got to be physically and mentally 100% ready. He wants to rematch Daniel Dubois so bad. I mean, one of the reasons that he wanted to fight February 22nd was he didn't want to lose the opportunity to fight Daniel Dubois. But with all due respect, who else is Dubois going to fight? Parker's a great fight for him in February. If he gets through that,
IBF mandatory might be called Bacoli and Caballero's been ordered.
But again, it's a nothing fight for no money. Daniel Dubois is going to want the biggest fights for the most amount of money, and that's Anthony Joshua. So we're fine, but we just got to get it right. And obviously it gives us the opportunity to look at December 21st, look at Usyk against Fury, see what happens there, and make a decision. But right now, stay calm, get ready to begin camp, probably February, something like that. See what happens February 22nd, see what happens December 21. And, as much as it burns people, AJ's a pretty big name. He can walk into any fight he wants. But we've got to get it right. We can't afford to lose again.
And those are the words of Eddie Hearn. Okay. Now, you guys heard just as well as I did. If you didn't hear, if it was too much dialogue for you, Eddie Hearn overruled Anthony Joshua to fight on February 22nd. Now, that's by itself is mind-blowing. You're telling a person what he wants to do, and then he wants that fight badly, and he wants that rematch right then. He wants it February 22nd. And then you're saying no, and then what you say goes. Ouch. That kind of sounds like...
Eddie Hearn is just another white man milking a black man. That's all it is. It's easy. It's about time for somebody to say it and come out with it. And I don't hold my voice. I don't have no filter. And I speak what I said because that's his actions. That's his manual, what he's been doing. He's been milking Annabelle. And Joshua been letting it because if Joshua really want this fight, he know how to make it happen.
Yeah, that sounds like some pretty much you do as I say type shit. You know what I mean? Like, hey, yeah, I'm going to have to override you. I make you think you have the last word, but obviously you don't. If he wanted to do something that Eddie didn't want to do, and now it's not happening. So what does that tell you? That tells you that Eddie runs the fucking show. Yeah, Eddie runs the show. And he had to tell AJ, like, no, we're not having it. You're done. Let's see what happens. You can't lose again. And then him asking, well, hey, who is Daniel Dubois going to fight? Daniel going to fight whoever he wants. And I understand the logic behind Eddie saying, well, hey, we're the biggest fight or one of the biggest fights that he could have. You know what I mean? He's not the only one, though. The other fight could be Daniel could say, because Daniel's already said, like, look, I can wait for the winner of Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury and go for the gusto, and then whichever money gives me the most, the rematch with AJ or the super showdown undisputed fight with the guy that beat me or a guy that I could beat to become an undisputed champion. If that's more money than AJ, you're out. Right? So, you know, him saying like, oh, well, who's he going to fight? No, on the 22nd, he could fight whoever he wants to fight. You know, so that's just a slick way of Eddie saying like, yo, AJ, set this one out. Let's see what happens. Something better might happen and a better opposition for you than young, strong, confident ass Daniel Dubois that made mincemeat out of you the last fight. And we can't see that again, because if we do, you're done. You know what I mean? So I think if anything, I don't like how he worded it, but he worded it the way he worded it, and he did it for a reason. And I'll say this, I don't also like this whole minor injuries during camp or, you know, a little after camp type shit. Like, what was going on with them? And why can't you say anything? Why is everything a secret? I don't care about excuses, because excuses are going to be either created or made or whatever. They're going to happen anyway. People are going to say them. So it didn't matter. He got beat. He got destroyed. Okay? He got knocked out, beat up, then knocked out by Daniel Dubois in 5 rounds. Okay? I mean, I guess if anything, for any, like the fanboys of AJ, they would feel at least confident to know, okay, well, it was this going on. He already got hurt or whatever. You know what I mean? But you can only use that so many times, right? Because that's what everyone said of the Andy Ruiz fight. He did look jacked up. He did look weird. But at the same time, he didn't look weird when he was cracking that left hook to Andy's face and dropping him down for the first time in his career. He didn't look too sick then, did he? No. Now, was he 100%? I don't know. But the whole thing is, if every time he gets a type of loss like that, it has to be something wrong with him. That's a red flag. You know what I'm saying? And then you can't even tell us what it is. Like, okay, all right, we're tired of that shit. We're tired of the secretive, oh, we can't say what it is type thing. But you could say he had something wrong with him. But so why can't you specifically say what's wrong with him? Nobody gets a pass over here. That's a pass. If you're like, oh, well, yeah, he was injured. Well, what was wrong with him? What does it matter? He was. I don't buy that, bro. You know? Because if we knew what was wrong with him, we could at least, with our sensible minds, understand, you know, normally, rationally, okay, that's why he can't fight February 22nd. But if you're not telling us what's going on with AJ, you know what I'm saying? Then we don't have any kind of barometer of what he should do or shouldn't do, because we don't know what's wrong with him. It could be a toe. It could be a Shane Mosley for all we know. My foot. It could be something like that, you know, that transpired. You know what I mean? And that's not enough. That ain't enough reasons to not be ready February 22nd. But for the fact of the matter is, they refuse to tell us what's wrong with AJ. AJ refuses to tell us. But they'll sell, oh, it happened a little bit during camp and a little bit after. So that meant Daniel did it. So Daniel did at least half of it. So we can say that at least, right? But we don't know what actually happened. What happened to AJ, we don't know. And that's what I don't like. I don't care for that type of shit. You know, but Eddie, you know, his narrative is now shattered, is now broken, if you can tell. He can no longer say it's all up to the fighter eventually, because obviously it's not, because he overrode AJ. You heard him. He overrode AJ. Yeah, listen, no, we can't do that. I love you, mate, but we can't do that. We're gonna see what happens. You can't lose again. You know, and AJ, oh, you know what I mean? Because if that was the case, you know, and come to the reality of business, legality of things, AJ signed a lifelong contract with Eddie Hearn. That shit looked bad and suspect as well. So when I heard that, I don't like the sound of that. You know, I bet you your big brother Floyd, Money Mayweather would have something to say about that, right? Because you never just close yourself in a corner and say that's, be all and end all. So yeah. So and it makes more sense in situations like this when Eddie tells him no, and that's final. Put my foot down. So it's a bad look, bro. You guys tell me what you think of Eddie Hearn putting his foot down, overriding Anthony Joshua, not allowing him the fight on February 22nd because of injuries that we don't know about. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!